This take on overthinking will drop your jaw. We've all heard relax, trust the process, don't think so much. But what if that process never made room for your real story, your truth, your trauma, your questions? What if it erased you altogether? Overthinking isn't the problem, it's just the smoke. The real fire is that you never made space to decide for yourself. So, what's yourself? Who you are. Let's get into why overthinking isn't your flaw. It's your way of keeping you alive. When you grew up in chaos, uncertainty, or even a place where your voice didn't matter, your brain started working overtime. All those thought loops, they're not random, they're survival skills built to scan for danger and keep you safe. The world around you never handed you a blueprint for trust or clarity. So your mind did what it had to do. It stayed on guard. So I want you to picture this. You're the kid who learned to read every room, every face, every word, because one wrong move could set things off. Years later, you're standing in line, staring at the menu, heart pounding over a simple choice. It's not just about a latte. It's about never being taught to trust your own decisions. That's what overthinking is. It's your survival system on autopilot, always bracing for what might go wrong. Society loves to say, stop overthinking, just relax, but nobody tells you how. They tell you to go with the flow. But for some of us, the flow was full of riptides. If this makes sense so far, tap a like so I know that you're human. The truth is the world tells you to chill out or you're too much. In the same world that never gave you the tools to feel safe in your own mind. They want you to have faith, but skip the part where you learn to have faith in yourself. No one talks about the pressure cooker, those homes, schools, or neighborhoods where you got to analyze everything just to survive. Of course, you will overthink. Your brain got good at scanning for threats, even when the threats are gone. As Basil Van explains in chapter 4 of The Body Keeps the Score, your brain can't always tell the difference between real danger and old memories of danger. If you grew up with instability, neglect, chaos, or just never feeling heard, your mind learned to protect you by running every scenario, every possibility. It's not sabotage, it's protection. But here's the trap. While your brain is searching for safety, it creates so much noise that peace feels impossible. That's not a personality flaw. That's a survival system stuck on repeat. Do they teach that in school? No. Most people never get shown how to break that loop. You end up stuck in a guessing game, so to speak, right? Second guessing every move. People call you indecisive, but they don't see the years you spent to avoid pain, judgment, or disappointment. They tell you, just be yourself, but never give you the tools or the space to figure out what that self even is. Let's pause and ask, what if overthinking is just a signal, not a sign that you're broken, but a message that there's a gap in your identity? When you don't know who you are, every decision feels shaky. That's why I said overthinking is the smoke, not the fire. The real fire is confusion about your own identity. Without that foundation, your mind keeps searching for ground. So next time your thoughts get loud, ask yourself, what part of me hasn't been claimed yet? What's the real cause of this mental noise? Overthinking isn't here to ruin you. It's your soul's way of asking for clarity. Where did this confusion start? What if the key to this isn't mindfulness? It's something older. We'll get to that next. Let's talk about something most people never heard of, but it's the real foundation for a quiet mind. In the Nile Valley, there's a concept called the Ren. This book is huge, I know, the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Spell 42 describes Ren as a sacred essence, not just label. Your Ren was more than what people called you. It was the core of your identity. This is essentially the thing that ties together your purpose, your truth, and a place in the universe. If you lose touch with your Ren, you lose touch, you guessed it, with yourself. Think about what that really means. If your Ren is your essence, then losing it isn't just about forgetting your name, it's about forgetting who you are at your roots. Decisions stop coming from clarity and start coming from fear. You end up guessing what will keep you safe, what will get you approval, what will avoid pain. That's where chaos in your mind comes from. The overthinking. Yes, overthinking. That's just the echo of not having that foundation. In ancient Kemet, they didn't leave identity to chance. Knowing your Ren was about spiritual alignment. Your name had to be preserved, spoken, and written for your soul to thrive. Picture the classic image, a name carved in stone, surrounded by symbols of truth and eternity. They teach that in school. I'm being a smart ass. I know they don't. That wasn't for vanity. Every time you saw your name in those sacred forms, you were reminded to return to your essence, your real mission in life, right? The Book of the Dead makes it plain. Your Ren had to be preserved in writings because it was tied to your soul's internal journey. This was spiritual science, not superstition. When you knew your Ren, your mind didn't have to fill in blanks. You had clarity, and that brought what? Peace. Now, bring it to today. We swap essence for roles, job titles, likes, brand labels. The shift fuels the confusion. Our names get replaced with whatever looks good on a resume or gets the most attention online. When was the last time someone asked who you are without asking what you do? Most people don't treat identity as sacred anymore. Instead, we're shifting and changing, trying to fit into whatever gets us the least pushback. So as you can imagine, that's draining. Look at it up close. The person always switching their personality, always adjusting to the room. They're not just indecisive, their mind is working overtime. Was that the right thing to say? Do they like me? How do I keep everyone happy? That's not random overthinking. That's a soul looking for solid ground. Without a clear Ren, you spend all your energy trying to fit someone else's mold instead of standing firm in your own. This disconnection isn't an accident. The system's benefits when people are unsure about who they are. If you're always second guessing yourself, you're easy to control. You chase approval, products, and perfection, hoping that'll make you feel whole. But ancient wisdom had it right. Real peace comes from knowing your essence, your Ren, not chasing outside validation. Let's get specific. When Egyptians preserved a name and sacred texts, they weren't just making art, they were anchoring someone's identity in truth. That's what cleared the mind. It wasn't about stopping thought, it was about lining up your thoughts with who you really are. When you're rooted in your Ren, decisions get lighter. The question shifts from what do they want to what's true for me. Your spirit leads and your mind finally gets to rest. How do you bring that sacred practice into your life today? Stay right here, because the real shift happens when you give your mind a direction, when you decide who you are and let everything flow from that. You've seen how ancient wisdom makes this simple. It's not about stopping your thoughts, it's about claiming your foundation. Feel that shift? Now, drop in the comments. I decide to be, fill in the blank. What's real for you is real for you. And if you're ready to decide your Ren, hit subscribe and don't miss out on our soul growth. You know, y'all can also tap in with the Discord where the real conversations are had. And we gonna build this thing up from the ground up, grassroots. And y'all know what it is. Don't be stuck and done forever. Let's learn and grow together. It's Hef.